That's your fault. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to Wonder Man. We're on season 1, episode 7, which is called Kathy Friedman. Have we met her? I can't remember. But yes, in the last episode, we had Simon and Trevor head for their callback with Novak, and it was a bit of a roller coaster for Simon because he has a hard time being present, and that's exactly what Novak demanded of him. But after some really beautiful moments between him and Trevor, just kind of reminding him that he is more than just his powers and that he could do it, he managed to give a solid audition, and now both he and Trevor have both gotten the leading roles in the movie. So that's basically the win that we got last episode. But of course, the dark cloud on everything is that the DODC is still very much trying to catch Simon, and they're threatening to put Trevor back in jail. But Trevor has managed to bargain for at least a little bit more time. So what he's going to do and how he's going to resolve this, I still have no idea. So let's jump into the episode. Just before I do though, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can be aware of when I drop episodes. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
Hey, mommy is making legumes, so please don't fill up on snacks.
Okay, Flash. He's driving his dad's car? Those are his bullies.
That's quite a cough.
What?
Pretty bad.
Should go home.
I think you might need a day off, Simon. Well?
It's a good dad. Exactly. He's like, play the part.
Now, the special effects will be a little corny, but they were cool at the time.
The way we have to keep explaining this to kids even now. We're like, excuse the effects, it was the 80s, okay?
I know how hard it could be, Simon. At this age, kids are cruel.
Any age, really, but yes, kids are awful.
Anyone who's different. But sometimes, different can also be great.
Amen. Y'all, I miss themed lunch boxes. Those used to be cool, you know, fun. I'm happy to see him playing. He needs to do more of that. Kid's taking way too much stress into his life. And look at the trailer difference compared to episode 1.
We just want to swing by Crafty? Sure. Grabbing food for Simon Williams would make some PA's day. You feeling more like a green juice or banana protein shake?
Oh, protein shake would be great.
Spawn the green shake.
Say less. Add a side of turkey bacon.
You know what? Make it real bacon.
Done. Correction, make sure that bacon squeals. Leave the turkey at home.
Damn, all this lingo. Y'all could just say turkey bacon.
Snug in the undercarriage, to be honest. I might want to have babies one day. Oh, don't laugh too hard. Anthony Quinn was a dad at 81.
Purr, let him know. None of these men are out here breeding all the way till they 90. Please. Please don't, though. Don't do that to your babies.
Well, we're all aware of the little bromance between you two.
Big bro.
Jealous?
Mara, lighten up. You're wound up tighter than Trevor's pants.
But these are pretty great.
Love him.
None of these are as cool as the originals.
Simon, this is what's going to get you fired again.
Everyone's anxious to get started.
Any word on that dialogue change that we talked about?
Yes, Von Kovic and the writer will meet you in hair and makeup.
Okay.
And they're going to tell you to stop analyzing the script.
In scene 36, when I see Gabriella at the cocktail party, but the words themselves it felt a little artificial.
But at this point in your story, there's still a layer of artifice to Wonder Man.
Why are we arguing? Oh, listen, I understand being true to the material. I absolutely do. Like, there's people who, like Henry Cavill, for example, having an issue with the deviations that they made for The Witcher. But this is...
It's really just about the one line.
Is it? Because if he gives in here, you're going to keep doing it, Simon. We know you.
If you don't mind, I couldn't help overhearing.
Yes,
but
save
I'm
him,
wondering if
please.
Instead of Simon simply says, "I'll never forgive you."
Perfect.
Okay.
Jeez
Definitely
Louise.
Right.
Not 3 overthinkers. Jeez.
Well, I will. It was a dream, an absolute dream. Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Yes. Now that's what I love to hear.
You just jinxed it.
There's a new Netflix series from Shonda Rhimes we think you'll love.
No, run away.
Don't commit to another movie or series until the world has fallen in love with you.
I agree with him.
You might want to trust us on this one.
Yeah, well, you know what hasn't changed? Artistry, the craft. It's not in this just to make a buck.
But we also want to secure a bag along the way, right, Simon?
Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
But I love theater.
But you have an opportunity here, Simon, one most people never get their whole career. I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss it.
Nah,
So you'll
I trust
okay.
Trevor on this.
That is a crazy amount of control you've gotten there, Trev.
She wants to do a joint profile on the both of you.
Oh, fun.
New York Times, New York Times.
The only one that exists. This could shift your narrative, Trevor. You know, you can't ask for a higher profile than the New York Times.
Take the interview.
She's the most respected entertainment writer out there.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay,
good.
yeah, and?
The pigeon incident in the 5th grade wasn't an aberration. It was the first glimpse of the true Joseph Gordon.
I love how they always have to say the actor's full name. It's Josh Gad. It's Joel Pantoliano. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's always the full name.
What if I stab my arugula salad listlessly?
Never. You're very
Listlessly.
assertive before.
Oh my God.
She finds out about my secret.
Listen, I am adamantly against drug use, but I feel like my man might need to think about taking some marijuana, even the oils.
One of the most charming dudes out there. She's gonna rip me to shreds.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, why do you always
Known
count
for
against
my fun,
yourself?
chill vibes.
What about the crew?
No, the crew likes us, you, me, together on my own. People think I'm a dick.
Okay.
A little bit. It's more because you're anal.
I find it helpful to use people's names. You know, ask them about themselves.
Mm.
What kind of bullshit actually works?
Oh my God. Go outside. Please go outside, friend.
I know this is gonna sound a little weird, but when I'm observing, I like to just be ignored. Just pretend I'm not here.
Impossible. Respectfully, Kathy, you have a very imposing presence, and I'm sure that's not by accident.
I'm sorry.
You can't apologize to someone if they're not there.
Shit. Sorry. So
Go on.
cool.
Look at him. He's
God,
like, who is
girl.
this man? Simon, go to the next seat, please.
That's offensive. Gen Pop, come on.
How
son.
does he
You know
make
I like to
himself
get
so
my own
cringy
snacks.
every
Give me a chance
episode?
to
Like, this is a talent.
Chat with the crew. Just-
Every actor who's the lead has someone do the running to craft services for them. It's not arrogant, Trev. They're being paid.
Eileen?
Because they got slush.
Oh, slush.
Look at him pretending to care about this conversation.
By director Soren Grinderslev Hansen.
Yeah.
Tell me
This
more
is
about
so
this.
hard for him because he doesn't talk to people.
Yeah, 35s are like
There
the
you
bigger.
are. Yeah. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
She's like, thank God.
All mine.
We're supposed to ignore her.
Oh, I see. Or rather, I don't see. Where'd she go? I could have sworn she was right here.
Trev will have no problem ignoring her. Know that.
Oh, Luca, I keep hearing you're a Bruins fan.
I didn't know you liked the Bruins.
Wow. My guy actually did homework on the entire crew last night.
Well, thank you both. I'm sorry if it was a little awkward.
You're
little?
kidding, we forgot you were even here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Simon, I meant to ask you, are there any friends of yours that I should reach out to for the profile?
Ooh, friends.
Not a one.
Your former girlfriend, Vivian? I spoke with her yesterday.
Ooh, she's an investigative journalist.
Well, I will let you two relax. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Yeah, you're gonna get written up for that fake ass play you guys put up. I don't think his ex said anything horrible, to be honest. She probably just said he was cold and distant and very, very, very hyper focused.
Just realized we hadn't talked since you moved out.
Really, this isn't about the Kathy Friedman profile?
Right, like, please, sir.
No, I mean, good for you.
Yeah, it's just a small part on the next season of Severance.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how much work went into my look for Wonder Man.
He's gonna start talking about
Ron
himself.
Kovac is super.
This is exactly why she broke up with you.
I know you must have been really frustrated with me at the end.
Well, you can sometimes be a self-centered dick.
I bet.
I'm not great at relationships. There's a lot of reasons for that, but I'm working on it.
Good.
I'm trying to be more open. I'm trying to be.
Present?
I know why you're so concerned about me in this article, okay? But you're safe.
Yeah, like, I just don't get that she would have
I didn't
bashed
say
you.
Anything about your secret.
She did know.
We lived together. I loved you. I knew for a long time that you are different.
You never told her. That's why she said you never let her in.
I didn't want to say anything because it didn't feel like it was my place.
She was waiting for you to open up.
But you could have trusted me.
Mm.
I was always waiting for you to trust me.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, girl.
And I hope one day you find someone that you can trust.
Exactly.
Someone you can really be yourself with.
Can't really love unless you're willing to be vulnerable.
How you feeling?
Worried.
Of course you are. You wouldn't be you.
Right? Like, anxiety's literally a middle name.
Guess who talked to the New York Times?
Is that right?
They found your mom, huh?
You even wanted to know all about my beautiful
I knew she
boy.
would look up someone else.
Say hello from me and Eric.
Eric?
Yes, little parler avec avant.
Shit.
Okay.
Now he's stressed. Now he's stressed. You just had to say that part, Mama.
My brother. Kathy talked to Eric.
Oh, no.
Why didn't I think of my brother?
I don't know why you didn't. I was thinking your mom and your brother immediately.
This dude has been waiting his whole life to ruin me.
Is that really what he wants to do, though, Simon? I don't think that's his intent, even though he is an ass.
He must have told her everything.
Why would he tell her
For
everything?
real, he finally got me. Little brother can't act anymore. That's for sure. No more creative.
Breathe. It really would not benefit him to tell the truth about you.
Put it out of your head. Take a deep breath.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, so excited about our chat.
Not as excited as we are.
Pulled it back. Good boy.
I know that you spoke with my brother.
Yes, I spoke with him and your mother earlier this week.
My brother and I, we have
Strained?
a complicated relationship.
Why is it complicated?
Well,
You're giving her information. You should have just been like, how did that go?
what did Eric say?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Nothing but lovely things.
That's what I was thinking. He's not like that.
He's so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's really beautiful.
See? You need to talk to your brother is what you need to do.
Cool, that's beautiful. That's great.
See? You were about to blow up the whole set for what?
I wanted to start with Mr. Slattery first, if we could.
I know you couldn't talk to my mom, so I brought some photos to show you. I was 10.
I love he always carries pictures of his mom.
I want to start with your recent past.
Hmm.
So you arrived back in Los Angeles a few months ago. Is that correct?
From?
Well, I spoke to several witnesses who said that you were arrested when you landed in LAX.
Here it comes.
You were broken out of prison before finishing your sentence. Isn't that right?
No, that's not entirely true.
Oh, okay. So when did you finish serving your time?
Bloody New York Times.
I was let out on good behavior.
Well, I just don't quite understand. How is it you're able to be sitting here, Mr. Slattery? I
Yeah,
just need
right.
some help filling in the blanks.
Now we all want to know.
As if you're trying to turn me into Judge of bloody Gordon Levitt, aren't you? Well, you won't. I never murdered any bloody pigeons. I'm an actor. That's all I
This
ever
is
wanted.
so sideways.
Sorry.
Well played.
You were close.
Really? You're sorry? Well, now the questions are going to spin in Simon's head. I mean, bro, this was going to come to a head at some point.
You're right about that woman. Bloody character
I don't think he's going to let you divert him this time.
No. Well, yes, I was, but
Thank you.
Just tell me what the hell is going on.
I think you should.
I've been working for the Department of Damage Control.
You've been spying on me?
Kinda.
So,
Keep going. Why are you letting this man spin?
the audition?
Tell him everything, Trevor. Tell him that you did it to save your
On
ass.
his birthday?
And then you realize you didn't want to do it anymore. He's still going to be pissed, but you're going to let this overthinker spin.
You've been
Okay.
getting dirt on me the whole time. I fell for it. I just bought the whole thing like an idiot.
Oh, he's hurt.
Thought you were my friend.
He is. He actually is trying to be.
I bought your time. I haven't given him anything big.
You're kind, man.
I can
He
figure
is.
a way out of this.
How?
I don't know.
That's a hell of a performance, man.
I'm sorry, Simon. I knew it was going to be this way regardless. This is exactly why he didn't want to tell you. Please don't blow up the set. Please don't blow. Oh, God. Simon. Simon. Simon, please, baby. I mean, it's LA. Maybe you'll be able to say, oh, I love this camera work. Ooh, ooh. Simon, please. That's your fault. It's LA. You might be able to get away with saying it was an earthquake, but not these lyrics. You need to leave, Simon. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta go. Man, they got some oldies but goodies in this show, man. Woo!
Woo, child. It came to a head. Didn't I just say before this episode, we're going to have to get to the truth at some point. And I never knew what the right time or the right way it was going to be for poor Trev to come up with the truth. Because in this situation, he is somewhat of a victim as well, right? I mean, if we look at it strictly logically, he should finish his time. He committed crimes. He should finish his time. He got broken out, but he should have gone back, turned himself in when all of the world calmed down again. He should have gone back and said, hey, I didn't finish my sentence. Let's do that. He didn't. But I also understand him not wanting to go back to prison now after having the taste of freedom again. He's not young. Going back to prison for a number of years would probably be a death sentence at this point. It's an impossible situation, and the DODC agent knew exactly what he was doing by picking Trev of all people to do this job. He needed someone who was going to be desperate to do anything to save themselves. But it doesn't excuse that he didn't tell Simon the truth as soon as he decided he was no longer going to play the game that the DODC had laid out for him. But I understand it's not easy, right? He didn't keep the secret because he wanted to make fun of Simon. He didn't do it for any malicious reasons. He did it for selfish reasons. The selfish reason being he didn't want to be a villain in Simon's eyes. He didn't want to hurt Simon and have Simon look at him the way that Simon looked at him before he left, right? But also, obviously, he cared about Simon. He knew that this was going to shake Simon's trust in people and in relationships to its core. And that's not something he ever intended to do. I don't ever think Trev expected that he and Simon were going to bond as much as they did in such a short time. There's no way you can foresee that you're going to get along with someone the way the two of them get along. But it happened. And the way it goes in real life, this is why a lot of us keep secrets or hide from telling the truth, because when we realize that the repercussions, that the ripple effect could basically equal losing a connection, losing a friendship, losing trust. And the hard thing with trust is that once it's broken, it is so difficult to rebuild. It's not impossible, but it's a long, arduous journey, and it's never the same as it was. So I understand that, you know, for as old as Trevor is, he has probably been through this, and especially with the lifestyle he had, you know, as someone who's an addict. If you've ever spoken to anyone who's struggled with alcoholism or addiction, they will tell you about the amount of people and relationships that they've unfortunately broken because of their addictions, right? They've been through it. It's not a fun journey by any stretch. And so all that to say, I understand why Trevor was reluctant to tell him the truth, but he had to know it was going to come at some point. And I know he was just trying to figure something out, but I also think he was kind of like, because Trevor's also someone who gets very easily lost in the moment, I do sometimes think he really underestimated how much time he was going to have to continue to play this. I do think he wanted to wait until the movie was done. Ideally, I really genuinely think he thought he would be able to keep the DODC off his neck and off of Simon for I don't know, most movies take anywhere between 6 weeks to 3 months to film, depending on the film. I don't know how long he thought he would have. And even then, even if they did finish filming, I mean, what was going to happen then, right? Like the DODC could just take Simon, and then what studio is going to release a film with somebody who's a convicted criminal, right? They're not going to do that. So anyways, it's clear that Trevor didn't think it all the way through, but his intent really came from really and truly not wanting to hurt somebody that he's come to care about and not wanting to see him broken any further than he already was. And so anyways, before we get to that, let's go back once again to the beginning of this episode. You know, I love the parallel that they showed in this episode between Simon and his new big leading role movie, you know, trailer compared to episode 1, where he's in one of those micro cube trailers that were part of a whole trailer of trailers in his first, the first show that he was on, you know, that graduation of success and him just kind of having fun and freaking out while also overthinking as usual. And then him, first of all, going to the dinner with the agent, and the agent saying, hey, we got the whole team here. Now that you booked this big thing, there's all these other offers coming in. And now we see that he trusted Trevor so much that he was taking his unilateral viewpoints on what he should do next, which I don't know if that was necessarily the right thing to do, considering that at this point, him and Trevor had only known each other maybe a week or two. But I think the point was that I don't even think Trevor, again, expected Simon to have that much trust in him, right? To really just, Trevor's like, no, don't do it. And Simon's like, okay. Even though his name was Simon, it was Simon Says for him, right? Trevor says, don't do it. Okay, I'm not doing it. Trevor says, do a play, I'll do a play, right? And I mean, I'm not against it. I actually agree with Trevor's advice at this point. It's like, don't sign or do anything until after the movie comes out, because the sad reality is that Hollywood is fickle as hell. So even though he's in this big production and right now it's all talked about, the movie could come out and bomb. And that's happened, where sometimes people talk so much about a movie, it's so anticipated, big budget, all these things, comes out, flop, master at the box office. And guess what? If this is your first role and your movie is a flop, it really has a long-term negative effect on your career. Classic example of that, Hayden Christensen, right? Star Wars film, big deal. Everyone was so anticipating it. huge role, should have been the catapult to stratosphere for him. The movie was not well received. He got panned by fans and critics alike. Outside of those movies, he's never been able to book anything the way that you would have expected after that movie, right? So all that to say that I think that Slattery was right. Let's hold on, let's wait, let's see how the movie does. Make sure people actually love you and want you. If this movie comes out and it flops and people are still reaching out to you with those roles, then you know you've made it. But if not, then you haven't gone and signed just so that they can drop you as soon as this doesn't do well, you know? So anyways, that's just a side note. But we see that, you know, the team's upset, and his agent in particular, you could see she was kind of side-eyeing because she's like, well, I've known him for how long? I'm telling him he should do this, and let's face it, everyone knows that Trevor is a convict. They're all like, why are you listening to this man, right? She was very worried at that point. But anyways, I think that whole table scene was to demonstrate how much Simon was giving this open-ended, almost unconditional trust to Trevor in such a short time. And that shows you how desperate he was to let somebody in, right? Despite his defenses, despite his fears, he really wants someone to be in his inner circle. He wants to trust somebody unconditionally. He wants that type of connection. But you can't have a deep connection with somebody unless you're willing to trust. That's just the way it works. And so anyway, if that isn't bad enough, they find out that this famous reporter, Kathy Bloody Friedman, is interested in finding out more about this relationship between the two of them and this, you know, their joint roles and things like that. But really, I think we saw towards the end there that her real goal was to interview Trevor. She probably would never have been able to get Trevor to do it. Even so, actually, she wouldn't have cared about it except for the fact that Trevor, who already has this reputation, is now coming back into the limelight. So, you know, unfortunately, my guy was right in this case. Simon was right when he said, I don't know, this Kathy Friedman seems like she's bad news to me. Like, she likes to eviscerate people, right? And even though maybe what she said was right, it seems like she definitely, shall we say, took pleasure in picking apart the people that she got to pick apart. And so, of course, Simon's biggest fear is like, what if she picks up me and I let it slip that I have these powers or something happens, then what? She'll definitely write about it. And then, of course, the dormant clause, I won't be able to work. But Trevor, again, you know, as usual, always reminding Simon to be in the present. He's like, you're jumping to conclusions. You know, she ain't gonna find out about it unless you give her a reason to find out about it. So like, let's just go with it. It could go well. It could be good for our careers. And we see that she has her whole follow them the whole day thing. Of course, it's completely unnatural. I love that when it comes to Simon, he takes everything so literally, right? You hear Trevor just give him a light suggestion, like, just get to know a few of the names and faces around you, bro. Like, just say hello, get to know a few people. That helps to humanize your experience and, you know, get people to like you more. And, you know, Simon's response of, does that crap work, is crazy. But it shows you how closed off he is, right? How he's just kind of dissociated people as being people because he's so scared of connection, right? But that's a whole other conversation. But anyways, that whole thing happens. And then she asks Simon directly, is there anybody else I can talk to? And he doesn't say his family, right? And I know, like, I feel like he could have told his mom truly, but he's just so scared. He doesn't trust. And it's sad. He doesn't trust his mom and he doesn't trust Eric. Eric, I understand. But I'm like, your mom has never done anything but show you love and acceptance from what we can see. So very interesting that you didn't trust her. But anyway, I think once the mention of like someone else that could give him a character, be a character witness for him comes up, we get the flashback of Simon as a child, his brother going to school and him hesitating to get out because there's bullies at his school. And this kind of ties into last episode when he did the spontaneous, or he dreamt about doing the improv exercise where the guy who was acting opposite him was a bully from school. And now we know like that had a very real trigger. And we get this beautiful scene with his father, who we've only ever seen otherwise in episode 1. And he sees Simon, he sees the way he's looking at these kids, he's seeing the fear on his face, and beautifully, he doesn't say anything, he doesn't ask any questions, he doesn't, you know, do the thing that a lot of parents do where they're like, you gotta face them someday, oh, just ignore them, oh, you know, you just gotta, you know, stand out, you know, just kind of dismissive of the emotional toll that bullies take on kids. Instead, he makes up this fake reason to give Simon a day off, a little mini holiday, a sabbatical. And that's the day that we see back in episode 1 was the day that he took him to see the Wonder Man movie. And, you know, his dad just tells him straight up, like, I understand that it's hard for you. I understand that even though you all got in trouble because they bullied you, I understand that it's not easy and that they know you're different or they can feel you're different. And that's why they're coming after you. But there's beauty in the difference. Like, don't ever think that you're less because you're different. So that was a beautiful message. And it shows that I feel like his dad was somebody, probably the first person that Simon felt like he could open up to fully, even before his mom and brother. And then when his dad died, which again, we still don't know how that happened, that's really what I think Simon closed those doors initially, as far as people getting close to him and letting people in. So anyways, I just thought it was a really beautiful flashback, and it just showed that, there's been a few people that Simon has let in that way. And anyways, later on, we find out, like Simon finds out that his mom calls and lets him know that Kathy came to interview her. And of course he immediately gets nervous. And then she's like, don't worry. She's like, I just told him about how amazing you are, blah, 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 which again, I don't know why you would think she would say anything else. But then she has to casually drop that Eric was interviewed as well. And of course the panic starts, because in Simon's mind, Eric hates him. Eric is just looking for him to screw up. Eric's been the one who's rooted for his downfall, right? So of course, immediate overthinking and anxiety kicks in high gear. He can't reach Eric. I knew immediately that Eric didn't say anything wrong. And the reason I know that, and I wish that Simon knew that, much like he learned with his ex, which we'll come to, is that even though what we saw of Eric was dickish, to put it mildly, he could have been a lot kinder, a lot more patient with his brother. I could tell that it was born of frustration, right? Was it still hurtful, judgmental, and unneeded? Yes. But I know I've heard it before. I've seen it, in some cases experienced it, not to that level, but I think we all have to some degree where, people who do genuinely love and care for us, they feel like, I think Eric's frustration is born from fear. Like, this is his brother, and like with their dad passing away at such a young age, Eric probably felt like he was responsible by proxy for his little brother. Like, he became the man of the house. He had to make sure everyone was taken care of. And when he sees Simon, who doesn't talk to him, doesn't let him in, doesn't let him know what's on his mind, does these things that seem futile, does these things that seem super disappointing, like Eric in his mind, he's thinking, okay, I gave you 10 years to try this acting thing. It's not working. So why don't you get a real job and do this thing and make sure you can take care of yourself? Because then, you'll be happier, because then you'll, be accomplishing something. Mom will feel better and less stressed about you. I'll feel less stressed about you. And then I'll feel like I did my job as your brother and your protector and kind of your guardian of making sure you're going to be okay, right? Like, that's what I get from Eric's energy. Right? It's really born of more frustration. And yes, unfortunately, the belittling of what he does and the trying to diminish what he's doing or what he cares about, that was unnecessary. That's unfortunately just part of being human, right? As much as we all wish we did the right thing all the time, we don't, right? But honestly, a lot of that I think is just born of the fact that Simon doesn't let people in. He has walls up that are so high. And again, I feel like Eric, while well-intentioned, the way he's gone about it has caused Simon to be very scared of disappointing his brother. And that's why he has an even thicker wall, if you will, where Eric's concerned. And Eric probably feels that, and it probably hurts him too. Like, that's his baby brother. I think he very much loves Simon, but he has no idea why Simon doesn't talk to him or let him in or give him any insight into what he's thinking or feeling. So that would cause frustration, right? And so anyway, we see in his brother's case, it comes out in the outbursts and the demeaning and the poking at him. And with his ex, she just had to up and leave at some point, right? She just couldn't do it anymore. So anyway, I knew that when it came to someone asking about him, there was no way Eric was ever going to bash him. It was never that deep. That's still his brother. And I'm sure if anybody else who was even at his mom's birthday party had tried to come for Simon, Eric would have been the first one in their faces telling them to back up. And that happens with siblings, right? We all know this kind of like, I can make fun of my brother, but you can't, right? So anyway, that's why I wasn't worried. And I hope that was an eye-opener for Simon to at least a degree, to hear that his brother gave him nothing but a glowing review and focus more on the fact that it's not easy being the children, first generation, from immigrants in a new country and the struggles that come along with that. So I hope that Simon recognizes to some degree that Eric is not as much of a villain as he might think he is for that reason. But that kind of dovetails into when he goes and finds out that the reporter talked to his ex, right? And so he goes and he meets with her for the first time since they broke up. And I love that she immediately knows that despite his dancing around the point, she's like, I know you called me about the interview and it's cool, and he kind of, again, he starts to ask about her, but then he immediately, after she gives him just a little tidbit of, her new role and some of the things she's excited about, he ends up going to a whole tirade about how cool his new project is, right? And again, you can tell it's not that he's trying to be braggadocious. He's just someone he's been alone for so long and in his own head so long that he doesn't realize that his whole world is centered around him and what he wants and what he cares about. And that's not okay in a relationship, right? So anyways, he does it, without thinking about it. And in the end, she kind of just gives him a look, and he kind of figures like, yeah, he's like, this is why you broke up with me. I'm a bit self-centered. She's like, yeah, a little bit. Little bit. But at least he's aware at this point. But anyways, she then lets him know that it's fine, right? She's like, I would never do anything but, say the best things about you. And I knew that would be the case too, because like I said, when they broke up, or that scene we saw in episode 1, you saw no anger, no venom, no even negative emotion. You could just tell she was just resigned. She was just kind of like, I'm tired. It was more the energy I got from that. And she seemed to be like, you could tell she still cared a lot about Simon. This was really something she had to do for herself. And so anyways, that's why I knew she wasn't going to give some horrible review, because there's no reason to, because I don't think she had any reason to talk down about Simon. But what I think was the real revelation again, and this is kind of like between hearing that his brother wouldn't badmouth him to others, and then his ex saying that, like, I know that you're enhanced. They're using the term enhanced here. He's a mutant. But anyway, she's like, I knew about your secret. I just never said anything because I was waiting for you to trust me enough to tell me, right? She's like, I could have said something, but if we're real, the way that Simon is, he would have jumped to the conclusion. He would have immediately jumped to a negative conclusion if she had said anything, right? We know this much about Simon now. So she rightfully was waiting, hoping the day would come that he would see from the way she was being there for him as a partner, as a friend, that he would at some point open up and tell her himself, but that day just didn't seem to ever want to come. And I love that she said, I understand why you felt the need to hide it. I understand why you felt like you had to keep it a secret, but you can't wait around forever for someone to do something that they're not ready to do. So anyways, once again, I hope that registers for Simon. Probably not right now because he just had his heart broken again, but I hope it registers for him that this was someone that he was with for what sounds like a pretty long time, who knew and never held it against him and never turned him in. So he needs to, it's proven now that at least 3 people really, because I know he doesn't trust Trevor, but Trevor saw his abilities and didn't freak out either. So he needs to understand that it's not this catastrophic thing that he's making it out to be, unfortunately, right? Like, that's just kind of something I'm hoping you'll start to take away from this. But anyway, that was some great things and some insights into the people around him. And hopefully Simon's starting to get a little bit more spatial awareness about the people who are outside the walls who really want to get in. But anyways, speaking of those walls and letting people in, that might have been something that could have happened after those 2 occurrences, except for the fact that the truth all came out, which we saw at the end of the episode. And again, I already kind of talked about it, but devastating for Simon, right? Just the heartbreak, him doing the math, him doing all the counting backwards of all their interactions, starting to put the pieces together and realizing, yeah, maybe this was just a bit too serendipitous, especially since he's someone who believes that good things don't happen to him, right? So horrible, sad. As I said, I wish Trevor had tried to explain a bit more in the moment, but I think he just didn't know what to say. He knew that none of it was really going to sound good, but I wish he'd at least tried. Either way, though, there was no getting around the hurt. Simon was going to be hurt no matter what at this point. And we see that he left, and yeah, he just I don't think he even tried to control it in that point. Like, he knew it was coming, but he just couldn't, right? And it's not even just what Trevor did, right? I've said this a few episodes back. Simon's a repressor. There is so much inside that kid that needs to come out and just be healed. And the fact that he's got superpowers attached to his emotions has just made that 1,000 times worse. So anyways, we see that he blew up the set. Blew up the set. And where do we go from here? What are we going to do? Right? I guess he could run. I don't know if they're going to immediately think it's a power, but we all know that the DODC will absolutely know it was Simon. It's LA, as I said. Maybe they could get away with saying it was somehow an earthquake. But yeah, we only have 1 episode left. So my guess is either going to be a situation where the DODC is going to mobilize because they're going to feel like they have enough, or it's going to become something where Simon's going to have to figure out something to fix this, if there is a way to fix this short of trying to run, right? And how long and how far can he do with all that? So I don't know. And I do hope that there's some way that he can at least try to understand Trev, because that's a friendship that I think would be a tragedy to lose. But too many questions, too many possibilities. We're just going to have to wait to the next episode to find out. But yeah, another excellent episode. Of course, this show is just fantastic. I've enjoyed every single episode to date, and I have no doubt the finale will be the same. So can't wait for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.